Winter need not be a time of hibernation. It's quiet, spectacularly beautiful, and offers a great chance to see wildlife. Join us as we hike and snowshoe through Voyageurs National Park in search of the gray wolf and make our own adventure on Trailside.
Trailside is brought to you by Chevy Tahoe, encouraging you to find your own little part of the planet. And Pacific Trail, makers of recreational outdoor wear for every family member. Pacific Trail, helping to keep the outdoor enthusiast warm, dry, and outside. And by Cactus Juice, makers of natural insect protection, sunscreen, and skin conditioners.
Here in Minnesota's North Woods, it can feel as though time stands still. The region has a storied past from the Assiniboine and Ojibwe nations that thrived for centuries exploring the countless inlets and islands in birch bark canoes of their own invention, to hardy voyageurs who created trade routes that helped open the West. Voyageurs National Park, named for the adventurers of old, is the crown jewel of this region, a throwback to the way life once was. Devoid of roads and home to a booming wildlife population, the park is a haven for adventurers and animals alike. We're here to try to track the park's most elusive resident, the gray wolf, in an attempt to elicit that majestic howl that once rang across the nation. My guide in Voyageurs National Park will be Chuck Remus. Chuck has been a ranger for the National Park Service for 15 years, the last 8 of which have been here at Voyageurs. Hi, Chuck.
Hi, Ray. Welcome to Minnesota.
Thanks, great to be here. You know, I've never been this far north.
Well, it's pretty rugged country up here, but I'm sure you'll love it.
Now, where are we going to go exactly?
Well, let's go up to the visitor center and I'll show you on a map.
Excellent. Let me grab my stuff.
Okay.
All right, the man with the map.
Now, come on over, Ray, and I'll show you the route we're going to take.
All right.
We're going to leave right here at the Ash River Visitor Center, and we're going to go down onto Lake Cabotogama here, and we're going to work our way over to the Kohler Bay Portage.
Now, obviously it's frozen right now, but does walking on the ice pose any threats or danger at all?
Not really. Actually, this time of year, the ice is about 2 feet thick on the main part of the lake.
Oh, wow.
Where you have to be careful is in areas there could be current, like in the narrow areas between islands, around beaver ponds. Anywhere there could be current, there could be thin ice.
Oh, okay.
So you have to be really careful crossing those areas.
All right.
Once we get to the portage right here, we're going to cross over into Kohler Bay. Then we're going to come along here, and then we're going to go up these drainages and head our way to the west.
Now, are these part of an established trail here?
No, they're not. We're just going to take the drainages because it's easier traveling in the wintertime.
Oh, that makes sense because it's frozen.
Right.
Sure. Now, what's the terrain like through here?
It's pretty rugged. There's a lot of ups and downs, a lot of hills. We're going to be walking mainly on the flat beaver ponds till we get to this point right here. Then we're going to cross up and over into Lost Lake where we're going to be camping.
Okay. Now, is that an established site we're going to be using there?
No, we're just going to develop our own backcountry site.
Great. Good.
And speaking of camping, why don't we go check our gear, make sure we have everything, and then we can get going.
Looking forward to it. Oh, you got everything laid out up here. Great.
Now let's check over our gear, make sure we have everything.
Now look at these. These are neat old wood and rawhide lace snowshoes.
Yeah, these are my snowshoes. These are called Ojibways, and I like them because they're fairly long, and their flotation helps keep me up on the snow because I'm a pretty big guy. And they're narrow, and it's easier to navigate them between trees, and they don't get stuck. And they also have kind of a curved up tip on them, and that way they don't grab the brush as easily.
Yeah, quite a difference in the ones I brought, which are sort of a newer aluminum framed and decked snowshoe. Quite a bit of difference in size. Same turned up toe idea, but now these should work okay, shouldn't they?
Oh, they should work great for you, yeah.
Okay, good. I'm a little bit lighter than you are.
Now let's go over the rest of our gear here, make sure we have everything. Here's our food, and you need to bring plenty of that in the wintertime because you can get hungry out there, and with the cold temperatures, your body burns a lot of food. And then we have We need a lot of water, and we also have a water filter that we can use to filter lake water if we run out of water.
Pots and pans.
Pots and pans, and then this is pretty essential here. It's a first aid kit, and you never know when you might have an accident out there, might get hurt. We need to have that in case anybody gets injured. And then we have our camping gear, sleeping bag, tent, pads, and our clothes over here on the end.
Right, extra layers are so important in the winter, aren't they? I mean, that can make the difference between having a okay winter camping experience and a great winter camping experience.
Yeah, conditions are usually changing quite a bit, and you have to take things off and put things on. So
now, what about these, Chuck? What are these for?
These are called the Picks of Life, and what they're for is you carry them around your neck, and in case you happen to fall in through the ice, you can jab them into the ice and crawl out. And that's just a safety feature we carry up here.
Good thing to bring, but hope you don't have to use.
That's right.
Yeah, got it.
And then in the rest of our stuff here, we have a compass that we use to navigate with on our cross-country treks, and we have a candle lantern for some light at night, and then tools in case you never know and you might have a equipment breakdown, we might have to repair something, so it's always a good idea to have some kind of tools with us.
You bet. Now, can I help you pack this stuff up?
Yeah, that'd be good, and we're just about ready to go. We just pack it up and hit the trail.
Sounds good. All right, feels good to get out on snow. You know, one of the best things about snowshoes, I think, is if you can walk, you can snowshoe.
Yeah, that's right, Ray. A lot of people make it a lot more difficult than it really is. I see people trying to snowshoe and they're walking really wide like that, or they're picking their shoes way up, and all you have to do is just take a nice natural stride.
Now, how do you recommend snowshoes for people?
Well, usually there's a couple factors, how heavy they are, and what kind of snow conditions they're going to be using them in.
Oh, so if it's powder snow or deeper snow and they're heavier, larger shoe like that, or maybe packed snow and if they're lighter, a smaller snowshoe.
Right.
Good. What about poles?
Well, we don't use them up here just because a lot of our snowshoeing is in real thick brush and you don't really need them.
Right.
And the other thing is our snow usually isn't that deep.
You know, speaking of not that deep, it doesn't seem to be that deep here.
No, we've had a real moderate year this year, and we just don't have the snow cover. In fact, we may not even need these snowshoes the whole trip, but we'll bring them along in case we need them later.
Sounds good. All right.
Well, you know, Ray, there's another way we could get there.
Oh, yeah? How's that?
Well, we could take a snowmobile, but since it's such a mild day, and since it really isn't that far, I decided we'd walk.
It's good for us anyway, right?
Right.
You know, there is a staggering amount of water in this park, isn't there?
Yeah, Voyageurs National Park is 219,000 acres, and about 1/3 of it is water. And so in the summertime, this is just a haven for canoers, kayakers, fishermen, and in the winter, this all freezes up and you can go ice fishing, or you can go skiing or snowshoeing.
Right. Now, can you go pretty much anywhere you want in the park?
Yeah, you pretty much can. There are some areas that are closed for wildlife protection, but those are marked with signs, so we know not to go in there. Otherwise, you can pretty much go anywhere you want.
All right, well, I'm glad I'm here.
All right, well, let's go experience it.
All right, here, don't forget these.
Thank you.
Yep. I might tuck these in my jacket there. Sort of bouncing around a little bit.
Yeah, you can put them inside since it's pretty good out here.
You know, it's really quiet out here.
Yeah, actually, you know, this is a great time of year to see wildlife because activity's really slowed down because conditions have gotten kind of bad. And the wolves really come out on the ice now and they'll start hunting out here. And if we're quiet, there's a really good chance we can see something.
Excellent, that would be great.
The other thing we might see is some otter come out this time of year. They'll find a little open hole and they'll pop out and they'll run across the ice and then they'll slide. It's pretty neat. It's kind of unusual watching them. We have about another half mile, Ray, and then we're going to come into the Kohler Bay Portage up here.
A little less slippery surface, I hope.
Yeah, hopefully we'll even be on land for a few minutes.
That'll be nice. Woo! Your toque on there?
I had to put my hat on, it's getting cold. Well, Ray, we're coming to the end of the lake here, and pretty soon we're going to be going up in those beaver ponds I told you about. And then should see quite a change. There'll be vegetation will be closer in, and a good chance to see wildlife up in there.
Great, that'll be nice. You know, why is it seems like the snow is only right here along the edges of these islands or shorelines? Why is that?
Well, what happens, Ray, is all winter long, the wind blows that snow in here and it packs against the shoreline, and it just gets deeper here, so it stays longer.
Makes sense. Well, it makes for easier walking.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to walk than walking out in that water.
I'll say.
No, we don't have too far to go. Let's head out then.
Okay.
Well, we're going to be coming into the woods here, so it looks like the snow's getting deeper. Let's stop here and put on our snowshoes, Ray.
Okay.
Now looks like we have a little uphill on these snowshoes now, Ray.
I'll say, yeah. Now, any special tips or techniques?
Well, it's pretty much just like walking with boots on. The only thing with snowshoes, you want to go straight up the hill.
Okay, so you don't want to traverse, really.
That's right. Yeah. You'll slip sideways if you do.
Oh, all right.
Just straight up, and you want to dig your toes in as you go.
These little crampons in the front will help do that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just go right through with my toe in my boot.
All right, I'll follow you.
All right, catch me if I fall.
I will.
Well, whatever goes up must come down, Ray. It looks like we have quite a good downhill ahead of us here.
Yeah, a little gravity-assisted snowshoeing.
Yeah, same deal here, though, is keep your weight on the front part of your shoes. If you lean too far back, your shoes will break loose and you'll start sliding down.
Okay,
all right. Remember, we're snowshoeing, not skiing. Let's stop here and take off our shoes, Ray, and then we can walk up the hill. I know a great spot to sit down.
All right. Yeah, this is a really rugged landscape. Was this formed from the last ice age?
Actually, Ray, it's a really old area. The bedrock is about 2.7 billion years old.
Wow.
And then it was all changed about 11,000 years ago when the glaciers retreated. And they clawed out the landscape and causing these lakes and these high ridges.
Oh, they did a good job of landscaping, that's for sure. Now, when did the first human inhabitants arrive?
Well, that was at roughly the same time that the glaciers receded. It was about 9,000 years ago. And by the time the first settlers got here, it was the Ojibwe and the Assiniboine Indians that were inhabiting the area.
Now, they were credited with creating the birch bark canoe, right?
Right. They were the ones that developed the birch bark canoe. It enabled them to move from lake to lake easily. It was lightweight, and that way they could move around and trap and hunt and collect wild rice.
Well, now, speaking of trapping and hunting, the Voyageurs came in and they adopted sort of a similar design to the canoe, right?
Yeah, the French-Canadian fur trappers, the Voyageurs, the park is named after, they came in, they had, their canoes were much longer though, they're 25 foot long, and they'd carry about 8 guys in the canoe. And they were known for their long days paddling, 16-hour days sometimes, their songs they'd sing as they paddled down the lake, and then their heavy loads they used to carry across the portages.
So the park really was created in their honor.
Right. That was the reason this park was established, because this was actually one of the routes that the Voyageurs took.
Wow. Now, when was the park actually established?
In 1975, it was actually created.
So it's fairly young.
Yes. It's a pretty young park in comparison to a lot of the other national parks.
Oh, it's great to have it preserved. That's a spectacular area.
Oh, it's just beautiful. I love it up here. Well, you know what? It looks like a weather change coming in, Ray. It's getting a little darker. Maybe we should get a move on so we can get to the campsite for tonight.
Okay. I'm packed up, ready to go. what criteria do you use to choose a campsite?
Well, there's a great spot right up here, Ray. What I'm looking for usually is a flat spot where you can put the tent up. And then in the wintertime, you need to look up and make sure there's no overhanging branches or anything covered with a lot of snow. That snow could break loose in the middle of the night and come down on you.
Ooh, that wouldn't be good.
And also in real cold temperatures, it's good to find some place protected from the wind.
Now, how far away should we be from the water?
Well, you should be at least 200 feet from the water. And that just helps minimize the impacts to the shoreline.
Sure. You know, it's wintertime, and I know this is bear habitat, and they usually hibernate. Do we have to take any special precautions for bears this time of year?
Well, normally I would say no, but as warm as it is today, I would hang my food just to be safe.
So we have breakfast.
That's right.
Definitely.
Well, let's get it set up.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Let's get this tent set up, Ray.
Okay. Now, what happens if the ground's a little too frozen to get these stakes in?
Well, there's a couple things we can do, Ray. We can take and tie off to the tree to hold it up, or we can take some big rocks and put it at the bottom of the tent to keep it from blowing away.
Now, I've also heard they make a special screw or stake for snow or ice.
Yeah, they do. They screw into the ground. But fortunately, we're not going to need them here. It looks like it's not frozen, and so we can just get this tent set up and we can go cook some dinner.
Oh, yummy. I'm ready. I'm hungry. Morning.
Morning, Ray. Sleep well?
I did. You?
Great.
Oh, it's wonderful to wake up to a blue sky day and some new snow on the ground.
Oh, what a beautiful day today.
Yeah.
Well, since you spent a night up here in the North Woods, I get to present to you the Beaver Club pin. And this was a pin that was presented to the Voyageurs after they spent a winter in the woods and returned to Montreal.
Oh, well, I'm honored to get it after just one night in the North Woods here.
Well, we made a little bit of an exception for you.
Oh, thanks. You know, I know there's beaver in the area, but what other wildlife is here?
Lots of wildlife. We have wolves, deer, moose. We have, of course, beaver and other fur bearers. We have otter, real good population otter.
Wow.
We have eagles, osprey, loons, and white pelicans.
White pelicans? Really? Here?
Yeah, they just started moving into the area. They're 8 fish in the lakes, and they're huge birds. They have like an 8-foot wingspan.
Ah, it must be beautiful to see them.
Oh, they're really, really pretty birds.
Huh, now, is the breadth of wildlife because there's so much land in the area here?
Yeah, it's not only Voyageurs National Park, but there's also Quetico National Park in Ontario, and then they're just north of us here. And then there's also to the east of us, Boundary Waters Canoe Area, and the Superior National Forest. And then to the south of us, there's Kabetogama State Forest. So we have a big chunk of wild lands here.
Wow, fantastic.
Well, you know what? We should break up camp now and get ready to go. And then we're going to go down to the lake. We're going to meet up with Jim Shaverill, who's a park biologist, and we're going to talk about wolves.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
All right, let's go. There he is. Hey, Jim.
Hi, Chuck. How's it going?
Going great. Jim, I'd like you to meet Ray. Ray, this is Jim Shaverill.
All right. Good to meet you.
Biologist here in the park working on a wolf study.
Oh, great. Nice to meet you. Now, tell me about these wolf studies.
Sure. You guys have been walking a while. Let's sit up on top of the rock here and talk about it. Our population study is looking at wolf survival and demographics within the park.
Now, that must be a tough job.
It is, but we use some radio telemetry and radio marking of animals to try to find out where they're at.
Cool. You know, Chuck was actually saying that the wolves in the park are doing very well.
They are. There's about 40 animals within the boundaries of the park.
Now, they form packs, right?
Right.
So how many packs would that represent?
There's about 4 packs within the park, and then there's several packs outside on the park boundaries.
Now, those that are outside the park boundaries, are they also doing well?
Yes, they are. I think the state of Minnesota estimated about 2,500 animals.
Oh, excellent. So you think we'll see any?
We have a good chance. We can at least see some sign.
Uh-huh. Now, they're very elusive, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They cover a lot of area, tens of square miles, and they're also a bit afraid of humans.
Can't say I blame them for that.
Well, let's grab our equipment and see if we can find anything.
All right, sounds good. So what were those tracks we saw back there?
Those are white-tailed deer tracks. Those are the principal prey item for wolves in this area.
So show me this telemetering system. That looks really cool.
Sure. This is a radio receiver, and you use this to dial into individual animals. Works like the radio at home, but what you're listening to is the collar.
Oh,
and each animal has its own collar. Tune it into the frequency you're looking for and find the individual animal.
It's pretty fashionable too, isn't it? Yeah.
Looks nice on you.
It's sort of trend with these. And then what happens?
Well, then we use this antenna to point in the direction of the animal to find out where it is, how close it is, and sometimes we're able to determine how many animals are in that group.
Now, you said that deer are the predominant prey for wolves. In a year like this, you've got really light snow, makes it easy for the deer to get around. Does that present any problems for the wolf, or is there any risk of them disappearing?
I don't think there's a risk of wolves disappearing in this area. This area has been colonized by wolves since the glaciers, and they've been living here ever since.
You know, okay, so you've got them tracked, you use the transceiver, then what happens?
Well, one technique we can use is wolf howling.
Really?
Basically, we mimic a call of a wolf, we howl like a wolf, and get a response, hopefully. And sometimes the adults will respond, sometimes pups will respond, so we can tell the difference between the two animals.
Interesting. Huh.
You want to try it?
Sure,
okay.
Yeah.
Look what we have here, Ray.
Oh, is this wolf track?
These are wolf tracks.
Wow. Now, how old do these look to you?
These tracks are at least a few days old.
Wow.
Looks like a single wolf.
Probably after some deer or something?
Could be, yeah.
It's neat to be on the trail.
Yeah. This looks like a good spot to howl from.
So now, how do we do this?
Really pretty easy, Ray. All you need to do is cup your hands over your mouth like that and take a deep breath and just let it rip.
Sounds easy enough. What are we actually saying to them?
It's just basically here we are in our location.
So it's a way to locate each other.
Right.
Now, does one wolf pack howl to another one?
Yes. They'll do that to distinguish between territory boundaries.
Who's going first?
I'll give it a try.
All right.
Give it a shot.
Okay. Wow, pressure's on here.
That's good.
That's good, Ray. Let's do it all together and see if we can get some good volume out of it.
Right.
Ready?
Yep. Nobody in the neighborhood.
Guess not.
Yeah, they would have answered if they would have heard us.
Yeah.
Let's go find another spot. Maybe we can find some wolves.
Okay. From this region's earliest inhabitants who helped develop the snowshoe and invented the birch bark canoe to the modern backcountry explorer, Voyageurs National Park has seen adventure for thousands of years. Thanks to a little luck and some prime wildlife habitat, it's also seen sustained wolf packs for as long. With their call reaching high into the winter sky, they symbolize freedom and mystery, the allure of the North Woods. The wolf has made an encouraging recovery, and though their numbers will never reach those of the past, the American wolf is once again alive and free. I'd like to thank Chuck Remus for guiding me through this spectacular terrain, and Jim Shaverl for teaching me how to howl like the wolves. We've got some more Voyageurs to explore, but we'll see you on the next Trailside.
To order home videos of this or any other Trailside program, or to order a Trailside guidebook, call 1-800-TRAILSIDE. Members of the Trailside Nature Club enjoy travel and merchandise discounts, plus a free Trailside home video or guidebook. To join, call 1-888-52-TRAIL. Trailside is brought to you by Chevy Tahoe, encouraging you to find your own little part of the planet. And Pacific Trail, makers of recreational outdoor wear for every family member. Pacific Trail, helping to keep the outdoor enthusiast warm, dry, and outside. And by Cactus Juice, makers of natural insect protection, sunscreen, and skin conditioners.